Hey guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. So before we actually get into today's video, I actually have a decent amount of announcements. There's actually a lot going on that I have to talk to you guys about. Uploads might be a little bit wonky the next few days, or maybe even week, I don't know. Mainly because I am moving. Basically, coronavirus shut down my school. So I might have to move out, I might have to move all my stuff. School is basically canceled until further notice, and all classes are moved online. So for now, I have no clue what's going on, but I will be updated later, and while editing this, I might add in more clarification, more things about what's going on. So if I don't upload for a while, or if just things are a little bit rocky, keep in mind that there's a lot going on right now, and there's just a lot of madness, pandemonium almost at my school. So keep in mind, there probably won't be a Chatterday this week. There's too much going on. I'm sorry. So, without further ado, guys, let's get into today's video, which is talking about Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated and why this game is important. I'm sorry for the very depressing intro.
ZakPak, he's always there for you. ZakPak, only on YouTube. ZakPak, what will he do next? ZakPak, let's find out, 'cause it's on with the show.
So Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is a very important game. I think it's more important than most people realize. And the reason why it is so important is that this game is a staple for a lot of people's childhoods. It's not like it's a game that's really, really bad and very, very overrated. It's actually a very good game. It's a great game that has, just gotten its own legacy over this time. And I think it's very important because we see games like Crash and Spyro, those are very, very big, notable, heavy hitter titles that have gotten remakes. And now you have this smaller game where, even though it does have a big audience, it's obviously nowhere near as big as Crash or Spyro. You're getting this kind of game get a remake, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. And I think it's very important because this could lead to many future games getting remakes, not just ports, lazy ports thrown onto systems. I'm talking full remakes. Any game you can think of that has a good following, that has, just a lot of people that like the game, that game is likely to get a remake. And this is where people of the audience come in. I think it's not even I think, it's I know that the main reason Battle for Bikini Bottom is getting a remake in the first place is because of how much people like the original game. The original game being so good, being such a big integral part of people's childhoods, that is the reason that Rehydrated is being made. And I think it's very important that, just because you might not think that Battle for Bikini Bottom is an important game, you might not think that, but loads of people do, and that's why it's getting a remake. THQ Nordic wouldn't just pick a random game and be like, oh, I think this game could be remade. No, they chose Battle for Bikini Bottom, and they chose it as one of their first major remakes, simply because of how big of a game it is, how much of a legacy the game has. And just overall, it just has such a huge, thing behind it that will just automatically draw people who grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s. It will automatically draw those people in and make them want the game, and it'll make them pay more attention to what THQ can do in the future. This is especially true for other Nickelodeon games. I mean, think about it. There are so many other Nickelodeon games that people want. One of the main ones I see are, well, there's quite a few that I see, the Tak games. Now, I've personally never played Tak. There's Tak and the Power of Juju, and there's some other ones I just don't remember. But I know that lots of people want Tak to come back. Hey, that rhymed. But yeah, lots of people want Tak to come back, and it's like, I mean, people, I don't think it's as big of a demand as Spongebob was, but there are definitely people who are advocating for Tak to come back. And there's also Fairly Odd Parents, Breaking the Rules, which I know is a lot of people's favorite Fairly Odd Parents game. I personally prefer Shadow Showdown, but either way, one of those games coming back, and I know Fairly Odd Parents, I believe is discontinued, right? They stopped doing the show Fairly Odd Parents, but the game's popular enough to where if they brought it back, they could sell it. or they could do some sort of combo pack. Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is a game that they could definitely sell on its own, but if they wanted to do a bunch of smaller Nick titles and put them all in a compilation pack, they could definitely do that, and it would definitely draw a lot of people in. There are so many other games like, Nicktoons Unite. I actually really like that game. Just having all the voice actors of all these different Nicktoons talk to each other was just huge for me at the time. It was just absolutely mind-blowing, and it was such a great game. It had its flaws, but I think overall the game was just so memorable and a fun co-op experience that they could definitely fix up and refine and put to modern-day consoles. And this isn't just true for Nick games. There are so many other games that are published by THQ that I think could make a brilliant return. What about Disney? There are so many Disney games that THQ made, and the first one that pops into my head is The Incredibles. So I think The Incredibles is kind of an underrated game. I think most people just pass it off as like a superhero beat-em-up kids game. But I think it has a lot of cool platforming elements. The dash stages were really cool. The Violet stealth stage was really, really cool. There's so many things about the game that was great that would be amazing to bring back to modern consoles, especially since The Incredibles 2 didn't get a real good big game. It just got kind of like a Lego game. Like, I think The Incredibles would be an awesome one to bring over. Or if you want to flip over to Scooby-Doo, there's a new Scooby-Doo movie coming out. I know it's a bit short notice now, but Scooby-Doo games are very popular. Night of 100 Frights is definitely one of the most popular Scooby-Doo games I've ever heard of. In fact, it probably is the most popular Scooby-Doo game I've ever heard of. But my own personal favorite has to be Mystery Mayhem. I love Mystery Mayhem. I think that one is definitely way underrated. I think that one deserves a lot more love than it gets, but any of those games would just be so brilliant. Heck, do a Night of 100 Frights Mystery Mayhem combo pack or something. Like, that would just sell. Like, this is why, I know I'm talking not a lot about SpongeBob in this video, but all of this is possible because of SpongeBob. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is paving the way for future potential remakes. And I'm not talking about remakes like, Destroy All Humans. Like that, that's its own different thing. I'm talking about licensed, I'll even say it, kids games that people grew up with that just hold up well. Like, that's the era where kids games or licensed games actually had some decent quality to them. Of course, you had your ones that didn't. Jimmy Neutron Boy Instance, for example, that game is just, oh god, that game is just awful. But there are definitely a lot of games that do have that care and attention and effort put into it that just makes it such a great experience. Like I said, Battle for Bikini Bottom, even more SpongeBob games I haven't talked about. Freaking Lights, Camera, Pants. I mean, come on, that game is just a classic. If you're gonna bring a party game over from the Nick era, it's gotta be Lights, Camera, Pants, right? I mean, I can't think of any other, kart racing party game or whatever that just deserves to be there. And Lights, Camera, Pants just has everything in a perfect little bundle. Overall, yeah, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is definitely paving a path for future licensed game remakes. So we know that THQ Nordic has the license for basically every single Nickelodeon IP under the sun. And basically that could really lead to a lot of potential when it comes to new games and your remakes and all that. It could just really, really work. And I think that SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom is really paving the way. So I know this video is a little bit shorter than usual. I apologize. Like I said, there's just a lot going on right now in terms of probably having to pack everything up and leaving and all that. So I apologize. Like I said, no Saturday tomorrow. Too much going on. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that down below. Make sure to hit the little bell icon too so you're notified of when I upload. And also check out the merch store. The merch store's got a lot of cool merch on there, so yeah. So until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video.